Hey everyone. I'll be reading some of Moon Chosen. It says Mari is an Earthwalker, heir to the unique healing powers of her clan, but she has been forced to turn from her duties until she is chosen by a special animal ally, altering her destiny forever. So who knows what will come of Mari? Moon Chosen. Tales of a New World. One. The continuous sounds of women's laughter filled the warm, tidy burrow. Oh, Mira, that is not an illustration from the myth I just told you. Mira's mother held the sheet of handmade paper in one hand and pressed the other hand against her mouth, unsuccessfully trying to hold back another bout of laughter. Mama, your job is to tell the story. My job is to sketch them. That's our game, right? Our favorite game? Well, yes. Lita said, still trying to fix her expression to a more sober one. I do tell the stories, but you tend to sketch what you think you hear. I don't see the problem with that. Mary moved to stand beside her mother and study the newly finished sketch with her. This is exactly what I saw as you were telling the story of Narcissus and Echo. Murray, you made Nasser look like a young man, turning into a flower. Awkwardly, he has one hand in that is a leaf and the other that is still a hand. The same with his Lita stifled a giggle, while with several other parts of his enemy, and he has a mustache and a silly look on his face. Though I do admit it is an amazing talent you have that can bring a silly looking half flower, half man to life, Lita pointing at the sketch. And the ghostly nymph whom Mari had somehow made to look bored and annoyed as she watched the transformation of Narcissus. He made a echo look. Lita hesitated, obviously searching for the right words. Fed up with Narcissus and his ego, Mari offered. Lita gave up all persistence of astonishment and laughed out loud. Yes, that is exactly how you made Echo look, though this is not the story I told. Well, Lita. Mari used her mother's given name as she waggled her brows at her. I was listening to your story, and as I was drawing, I decided that something was definitely left out of the ending. The ending, really? Nia bumped her daughter with her shoulder. Stop calling me Lita. But Lita, that's your name. To most of the world, to me, my name is, but to you, my name is Mother. Mother, really, it's so respectful and traditional. This time, Lita offered to finish her daughter's thought. More like boring and old, Murray said, shining as she waited for her mother's predictable response. Boring and old? Did you just call me boring and old? What, me? Call you boring and old? Never, Mama, never. Mary giggled and held her hands up in surrender. That's good, and I suppose Mama is fine, better than Lita. Murray grinned. Mama, we've been having this same discussion for 18 winters. Mari, sweet girl, I can happily say that even though you have known 18 winters, you haven't been able to talk for all of them. I did get a couple of winters respect before you started and never stopped speaking. Mama, you said you encouraged me to start talking before I know much more than 2 winters. Mary said in a mild surprise as she reached for the sharpened charcoal twig with which she had been sketching and took the drawing from her mother. Yes, and I also never said I was perfect. I was just a young mother trying to do her best, Lita. Lita Lada said, dramatically releasing the sketch to her daughter. Really, really young, right? Mari says, sketching quickly while she cradled the drawing so that Lita couldn't see it. That is absolutely right, Mari. Lita said, trying to peek over Mari's shoulder. I had known one winter less than you when I was your wonderful when I met your wonderful father. What?
I know my radio is disturbing the video, so sorry about that.
It's okay, baby.
Oh, where'd you get those?
Those
chicken crackers.
We bought them.
When?
I think last month.
Can I have some?
Yeah. I had known one winter less than you when I met your wonderful father, and Lita Brogo frowned at her daughter as Mia couldn't contain her giggles. All fixed, she said, holding up the sketch for Lita to inspect. Mari, his eyes across, Lita said. The rest of the story made me think he wasn't too smart, so I made him look not very smart. You sure did. Lita's gaze met her daughter's, and both women dissolved into laughter again. Lita wiped her eyes and gave her daughter a quick hug. I take back everything I said about your illustration. I decree that it is perfect. Thank you, Mother. Mari's eyes danced. She took a fresh sheet of paper and held a charcoal at ready. She loved the ancient stories her mother had shared with her for as long as she could remember, weaving wisdom and adventure, lost in love, into them as defiantly as the talented woman of Clan Weaver wove baskets and clothing and tapestries to trade with Clan Fisher, Clan Miller, and Clan Wood. One more story. How about just one more? You're really good at the telling. Flattery will not get you another story. It might get you a basket full of early berries though. Berries, really, Mama? That would be wonderful. I love the color of ink I make with them. It's a nice change from the black stain I get from walnuts. Nita smiled fondly at her daughter. Only you could be more excited about painting with blueberries than eating them. It can't be only me, Mama. You like the dye you make from them too. I do, and I look forward to dyeing a new cloak for you this spring. But I admit freely that I would rather eat a blueberry pie. Blueberry pie? That sounds wonderful. So does another story, the Lita story. And Mother, can we take a moment to discuss your name? Lita, really? I'm assuming your mother did not know that story, Marie teased. But as her name was Cassandra, I sometimes question her ability to name sensibility. You know very well that moon women always name their daughters whatever is whispered to them on the wind by the great Earth Mother. My mother, Cassandra, was named by her mother, Penelope. I heard your lovely name whispered by our Earth Mother like the full moon night before you were born. My name is boring, Mari sighed. Does that mean the Earth Mother thinks I'm boring? No, that means the Earth Mother thinks we should make up a story to go with your name. A story all of your own. So you've been saying for all those winters I can remember, but I still don't have my own story, Mary said. When the time is right, you will, Lita said, touching her daughter's smooth cheek, her smile turning said, Murray, sweet girl, I cannot tell another story tonight. I wish I could. Sunset is not far off, and tonight the moon will be full and brilliant. The needs of the clan will be great. Murray opened her mouth to plead with Lita to stay just a few more moments more, to put her needs before those of the clan, but before she could speak, her small, selfish desire, her mother's body twitched, bare mockingly, shoulders trembled, head jerking painfully and uncontrollably. Though she already turned from her daughter, as always, trying to shield her from the change night brought with it, Mari knew too well what was happening. All teasing fell away from her as Mary dropped the paper and charcoal and went to Lita. She took her mother's hand, holding it in both of her hands, hating how cold it had become, hating the pale silver gray tingy that was beginning to spread across her skin, and always wishing that she could soothe the pain that visited her mother with the setting of the sun every night of her life. I'm sorry, Mama, I lost track of time. I didn't mean to keep you. Mari kept her tone light, not wanting to send her beloved mother into danger and darkness, but burn, burdened with more worry than she usually carried. We'll make up my story another time, and I have work I have to do while you're gone. I still haven't gotten this perspective perfect on that piece I've been trying to finish. May I see it yet? Her mother asked. It's not done. And you know I hate for you to see my drawings before they're done. Another tremor shivered across Lita's skin, and Mary's automatically tightened around her mother, supporting her, understanding her, loving her. Mary forced herself to grin. But I suppose I'll make an exception tonight, especially since you're my favorite model, and I like keeping my favorite model happy. I think it's safe to say you like me more than the sisters. Nita joked while Mary went to the simple wood table that sat in the corner of the main room of the little cave-like burrow that she and her mother had shared for the 18 winters of Mary's life. The table was framed by the sides of the burrow that held the thickest of the glow moss and sat beneath the biggest and brightest cluster of glowworms, which suspended from the ceiling like organic chandeliers. As Mary approached the table, the stain smile she had adopted for her mother relaxed. And when she returned to lead holding a sheet of paper, a thick paper made from metallic hand processing plant pulp, Murray's smile was gentle. No matter how many times I look at my drawing table, the way we've grown the glowish rooms and placed the glowish moss will always remind me of your Earth spirit stories. You have always loved the stories passed down from Moon Woman to Moon Woman to eternity and teach their daughters through, though none of them are more real than their successor and his unfortunate echo. Larry smiled, then faltered. When I drew it, it's real to me. So you have always said, but her mother began and then broke off with a little gasp of delight as her gaze went to the unfinished sketch. Oh, Mary, it's lovely. Lita looked at the sketch from her daughter's hand and looked at it more closely. Truly, this is your very best. With a wonderful, wandering fingertip, she carefully touched the image of herself sitting at her usual place beside the hearth fire. On her lap was a partially woven basket, but she wasn't looking at the basket. She was smiling lovingly at the artist. Mary took her mother's hand in hers again and smoothed her skin. I'm glad you like it, but your hand is much more delicate bone than I drew it. Lita pressed the palm of her hand against her daughter's cheek. You'll fix it. You always do. And it will be exquisite as the rest of your drawings. She kissed Mary gently on the forehead before adding, I have made something for you, sweet girl. Really? A present? Lita smiled. A present indeed. Wait here and close your eyes. She hurried into the back room of their burrow, which served as Lita's bedchamber as well as the drying and storing room for her fragrant herbs. Then she hurried back to her daughter, standing before her with her hands behind her basket. What is it? It's small enough to hide behind your back. Is it a new quill? Murray, I said no peeking. Lita Martinovish eyes Screw tightly shut, Mara grinned. I'm not peeking, I'm just smart, just like my mama, she said smugly. And beautiful like your father, Lita said as she placed her daughter's gift on her head. Oh, Mama, you made me a maiden moon crown. Mara took the incredible braid coronet from her head. Lita had woven ivy with willow to create a lovely circle, which was she decorated with brightly yellow flowers. So this is what you've been doing all this with all those dandelion blooms? I thought you were making wine. Lita laughed. I did make some wine. I also made you a winter maiden moon crown. Mary delighted them. I've forgotten that tonight is the first full moon of spring. I'm sure the clan celebration will be glorious. Will be joyous. She shook her head softly. I wish it was so, but I'm afraid the spring moon won't be as festive as usual. Not after so many Earthwalkers have been recently captured by the companions. The Earth Mother feels unusually restless to me, as if uncomfortable changes are coming. Our women have been filled with more sorrow than usual, and our men, well, we know that the anger, the night for fever, brews within our men. They won't be just angry, they be dangerous. Damn scratchers.
I'm sorry
Murray.
about all the noise my radios are causing, baby.
It's okay, baby. Murray, don't call your people that. It makes them sound like monsters. They're only half my people, Mother, and at night there are monsters. Or at least the men are. What would happen if you didn't wash them of the night fever every 3 days? Wait, I know what will happen is why a moon woman's burrow has to always be hidden, even from her own clan. Frustration and fear caused her words to be harsh, and as soon as she spoke in them, the sadness that filled her mother's eyes made her regret such hardness. Mary, you must never forget that at night even I have within me the capacity to be a monster. Not you. I didn't mean you. I never mean you. But the moon is all that keeps me from becoming more scratcher than Earthwalker. Sadly, our people cannot call down the moon as I can. So I must do it for them at least once every 3 nights. Tonight is a third night, as well as the spring full moon. Our clan will gather and I will watch them so that their lives may be open to accept love and joy instead of mar and melancholy, holy and anger. You know all of this, Mary. What troubles you? Mara shook her head. How was she supposed to tell her mother, her sweet, funny, brilliant mother, the only person in this terrible world who knew that Mary truly was in love, loved her still, and that she began to ache for more of everything? Mary could never tell her mother, just as either Lita could never allow the truth about her daughter to be known. It's nothing. Probably just something to do with the full moon. I can feel it. Even in here in the cave, even before it's risen. Nina smiled was proud. You have my power and more. Mari, come with me tonight. Wear your moon crown. Join the clan celebration. It is easier to draw down the power of the moon when it is full, and tonight it will be spectacular, full as the sun had been bright today. Oh, Mama, not tonight. I'm tired of failing, and definitely don't want to do it in front of a crowd. Lita smiled and faltered. Trust your mother. You have my power and more. It's that more than makes your training difficult. Difficult, Maya Saigan. You mean hopeless. Such dharma. You are alive and healthy and sane. Day or night, rain or shine, moon or no moon, you show no signs of madness or pain. Trust that the rest will come with practice and patience. Are you sure there is an easier way? Quite sure. It, much like how you practice until you attain the ability to make a flat drawing seem to live and breathe. Drawing is so much easier. Her mother Laughed softly. Only for you. Then Leah's smile faded. Mary, you know I must choose an apprentice soon. I cannot put off the woman of the clan much longer. I'm not good yet, Mama. And that is another reason you should join me tonight. Stand beside me before the clan. Practice the calling of the power of the moon. And while you practice, I will be showing our clanswomen that they may rest easy. Though I have not named you as my official heir, I have begun your training. Meredith started up, beginning my training. Lita, you've been training me as long as I can remember. You've always been a good student, and stop calling me Lita. Good and slow aren't the same thing, Mother. I'm well aware of that. You're not slow, Mari. You're complete. You're complex. Your mind, your talent, your power, all complex. Someday you will make a fine moon woman. Her gray eyes wide. Her gray eyes were as wide as Lita studied her daughter. Unless you have no desire to be moon woman. I don't want to be. I don't want to disappoint you, Mama. You couldn't disappoint me no matter what path you choose for your life. Nita paused, grinning as a new tremor of pain swept through her body, and as the silver timber ting that she began to appear on her mother's delicate hands spread up her arms. Okay, Mama, I'll come with you, Mari said quickly as she rewarded her mother's rewarded by her mother's brilliant smile. Oh, Mara, I'm so glad. Pain temporarily forgotten. Nita rushed into her room, and Mara could hear her cluttering through pots and baskets and precious glass drawers that held her vast collection of herbs, tinctures, and poultices. Here it is, she called, and then reappeared with a familiar wooden bowl. Let me touch up your face. We'll need to dye your hair again soon, but not tonight. Mara stuffed her aside and tilted her face up so that her mother could reply the muddy mixture that kept their secret. Leah worked in silence, thickening her daughter's brow, fluttering her high cheekbones, and then lastly smearing the dirty, sticky clay-like substance down her neck and arms. When she finished, she started immediately and touched her cheek, tested at the window. Mara nodded somberly. Followed by Lita, she went to the far side of the cave's main room and climbed the rock steps up to a niche cave meticulously through layers of rock and dirt. She slid aside a long, rectangular-shaped stone. Warm air swirled from the opening, crossing Mari's cheek like a second mother. Mary stared into the hole to the upper world and the eastern sky, which was already reflecting the pale, washed-out colors that night painted over brilliant day. She lifted her arms so that the warm light from above touched her. Then she met her mother's gaze. Bea's eyes, just like Mara's, were so gray that they were almost silver. Mara focused on the beauty of her sheer trait. Underneath the full moon, like her mother, Mary's eyes would glow silver. Like her mother, Mary's skin would glisten as she basked in the full moon night, and let its cool silver light fill her and calm her. Thinking longingly of the moon and the power it held, Mary's hand stretched further up into the hole as if reaching for the moonlight, but instead of finding the delicate silver beams, her fingers caught the yellow light of the fading sun. Her hand trembled at the hot rush of heat, and Mary pulled it quickly back to her, spreading her fingers and staring at the delicate pattern that even such a small amount of sunlight had ability to call to the surface of her skin. Mari hugged her hand to her chest while the sunlight-covered pattern faded like a lost dream upon waking. Unlike her mother, she was so unlike her mother. That's okay, sweet girl. Let's take your sun cloak. It's light enough that you won't be too hot, but the sleeves will cover my arms and hands until the sun has fully set. Maury finished for her. With slow steps, she climbed down from the window and went to the basket that had her cloaks. I wish you didn't have to hide. I wish it could be different. Her mother's voice was soft and sad. I do too, Mama, Mari said. I'm so sorry, Mari. You know it's okay, Mama. Really. I'm used to it. Mari schooled her expression into nonchalant as she turned to her face her mother, and I made a grow of it. No, my sweet girl, you won't. Your father's blood runs as truly in your veins as does mine, and I wouldn't change that. No matter the cause, I wouldn't ever change that. I would, Mama, I would. But Mari only thought the words as she wrapped her cloak tightly around her and followed her leader from the safety of their burrow. That was it for chapter 1. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I will start on chapter 2 tomorrow or another day. My foot's asleep. Well, I hope y'all all enjoyed your night. Not your night. I'm sorry, my computer's at an angle. Yes, I'm wearing a lion shirt. Um, well, that's it for this. I love you, and I hope y'all all have a good night. Bye.